Hello everyone and welcome to another installment of the looking at random game mechanics in the Yokai Watch games. Today I'll be explaining Yo Criminals, also known as Wanted Yokai, and how they work. I've been procrastinating for this video for a couple weeks for whatever reason, but I'm finally doing it as it overwhelmingly won my last poll. Let's break into the video. I'm first going to explain the general mechanics of Yo Criminals before talking about how they differ in each game. Yo Criminals are recolored variants of existing yokai, usually with names similar to the regular counterparts. Some have names with some synonym for imposter or fake, such as Doppelnyan, Rough Raffoni, or Mange Imitate. Others just sound like knockoffs like Blazy Off, Stand, or Paka. They can randomly appear in the overworld, where you have to try and catch them to get a reward from Detective Holdit, who introduces you to them in all three games. You're given a week to capture Yo Criminals, and you can check them in the Yo Criminals part of the menu, or by talking to Detective Holdit. Each Yo Criminal is wanted for a ridiculous crime, in quotation marks, that Detective Holdit deems serious enough to arrest them. What crimes do the Yo Criminals commit? Here are some of my favourites. First we have Doppelnyan, who drew large nostrils on historical figures in books. Bogusus burped a song that got stuck in everyone's head. Blazioff answered the questions aimlessly in order to finish faster your homework. That makes sense. Papa Dolt broke the swing set when sitting down on a swing. Okay, that one's just kind of sad, honestly. Imagine getting arrested for that. Mocheeseless left milk out to make yogurt and forgot about it. Booher interrupted gym class by releasing a hound. Like, I guess, yeah, you deserve to be arrested for that, but like, where the heck did Booher get the hound from? What? Chan Inverse stood on tiptoe when being measured. Never done that, especially in this game. Castellilos always runs backwards when someone yells go. Rough Raffoni, unable to decide what he wants for breakfast. And talked up watermelons in order to hog all the mangoes. What? Zero Burker grabbed someone's bald head instead of a handrail, and then ordered a cheeseburger, but left the cheese. Finite promptly returned home when told to do homework. Old Slapstick stole Santa's beard and wore it as a sock. How would you even do that? Mange Imitate scattered rabbit poop all over the soccer field, and bought scary books in spite of being underage. I'm sorry, I refuse to believe Mange Imitate is underage. What kind of age rating do these books have? What Kappa added ketchup to strawberry ice cream? Alright, that one's actually a crime act. Yeah, he deserves to be arrested for that. Komasham tried to fix a game console and broke it even more, everyone's worst fear. Paka got in a packed elevator and pressed all 555 buttons. Also referencing Bada Bing Tower. That's also just funny, like, who hasn't at least thought about doing this? Fusky rewrote the date on the expired coupon and then used it. Cheatler hid a colony of ants inside a classmate's desk. Okay, I'm just more impressed on how the heck he did that. And then gave Father ink when asked to pass the soy sauce. Alright. Pandal created a dastardly method to cheat at rock, paper, scissors. Okay, now I'm just really curious. What is this method? I must know. Bummer simply just told lies. That's it. And also sold a squid, advertising it as an alien mummy. Alright. Tripper turned the swimming pool into soup. First of all, how does one do that? How would you ever turn a swimming pool into soup? And second of all, that doesn't come close to anything normal Sepple would do. You won't get that unless you watch my live streams. There's way too many of these, and that's only the Yokai Watch 1 Yo Criminals. If you want to see them all, I'll have a link to the wiki page in the description. Yokai Watch 1 definitely has the worst iteration of Yo Criminals. First of all, like I said earlier, instead of there being a Yo Criminals part of the menu, you have to talk to Detective Holdit, in order to see what your criminal's going around, and the deadline, which I didn't even know about until working on this video. I just assumed it would be in the info part of the menu, because it should. Anyway, a Yo criminal will stand still until you go near it, where it will run away like Noko and you have to catch up and talk to it, which can be quite annoying. Thankfully though, like Noko, you can pause to catch up much easier. When you do catch up and talk to them, they say their name and crime and you get your reward, right? No. You have to find them again 2 more times within the deadline. The worst part is, that in order to get your reward, you need to input a password. Each time you capture your criminal, you get a single character for the password. Some passwords are more than 3 characters long, so you need to find someone else who happened to also find that same Yo criminal, when there's a ton in this game, and get the remaining characters from them, which they might have got the same ones as you. Some are even more than 6, so you need at least 3 people, and you likely can't share these passwords with online friends either, because I already mentioned that the passwords are different not just for each region, but each language within each region, making it near impossible to get these passwords the intended way. After some testing, turns out it's even worse. You don't get any sort of password character until after you've caught it for the 3rd time. People will likely never encounter these Yo criminals unless specifically looking for them, which is made even harder by the fact that you can't even see them on the map. And what do you even get for these? A trophy, and an item that can be gotten much easier elsewhere. If I'm wrong about any of this, please tell me. It is very hard to test for, because the best way to find Yo criminals in this game is just to walk around the entirety of Springdale until you find one. After all that wandering around to find a Yo criminal once, Detective Holdit has the audacity to tell you you did a terrible job because they got away. I'd like to see you, Detective Holdit, catch your criminal. Please, save yourself the time and just put in the passwords. I've linked the wiki, which has all the Yo criminal passwords for each region and language. I understand the idea they were going for with this, but in my opinion it was horribly executed. Thankfully, things get much better in Yokai Watch 2. They spawn the same unfortunately, run away the same, and still don't show up on the minimap. There are new Yo criminals this time, all based on classic yokai, and there could sometimes be more than one wanted yokai within the week time period. You can also now view Yo criminals in the menu to save you going all the way back to talk to Detective Holdit, which is a nice addition that, like I said, should have been in the first game. The main difference in this game is the fact that you get to battle the Yo criminals when you catch them, which is really cool in my opinion. They even have their own moves and ultimates and everything too. They also use the Yokai Watch 1 battle theme, which I believe isn't used in any other battle in that game. When you beat them, you just get given your reward. No need to catch them 3 times, no need for passwords, you're just given your reward, no questions asked. This is a massive improvement from the first game. They got rid of the trophies as rewards, thankfully, and just give you an item. And you can even get a bonus item if you caught your criminal the previous week, to try and incentivize catching your criminals more. As cool as the trophies were, they would make 100% in the game much more tedious. I'm not sure if these items are random or if they're fixed for each Yo criminal, but they are still items you'd have a much easier time getting normally, so they're still not really worth going for in my opinion. Still a great improvement from whatever they were doing in Yokai Watch 1. This section has been shorter, but there's really not much else to say here, other than it's Yokai Watch 1 Yo criminals, but better. Unless I missed anything, which I likely have since it's very hard to test for these guys, since, like I said, you still just have to go around Springdale and hope you find one. Hopefully the next game makes them actually good. Thankfully, Yokai Watch 3 does make them actually good, by completely changing several things about them. First off, all the new Yo criminals are based off American yokai, which fits as they only appear in BBQ in this game, meaning you only have to search 3 areas instead of 5. The Yo criminals will now also move about a bit, instead of just standing still until you approach them. The best change, however, is that they can finally be seen on the map. Hooray! Meaning you don't have to go searching every nook and cranny of every area, and instead, you just have to look for them on the map. The Yo Criminals app works the same, except with a new wanted poster type look, which I really like, and you can still talk to Holdit for info as well. When you approach a Yo Criminal, it's much more dramatic than before, having massive red text across the screen that just says wanted, and even playing its own music. They also don't just run in straight lines anymore, and will occasionally stop and look around with their vision also being visible on the map. Not sure if the pausing tricks still work, but it doesn't really matter, as you can now see them on the map and you can just use stamina them. When you catch up to them, you once again battle them, just like in Yokai Watch 2. When you defeat them, you get your reward. Instead of giving you an item, you now get wanted points, which you can trade for items such as fusion items, XP orbs, equipment, and more. I much prefer this system over just giving you an item, and it actually feels worthwhile catching. Not to mention, they do feel much more common in this game, though that could just be the fact that they are much easier to spot now because they're on the minimap. The main reason you want to be going for your criminals, however, is not for the wanted points, but instead, after catching your criminal, there's a chance that none other than Mass Mutterer will appear, and you have to catch him like any other your criminal, including fighting him as a secret boss. He works similarly to blasters, with mostly the same attacks, ultimate, and way to stun him by defeating Sam. There is a new attack where he has a piece of dynamite that he tosses onto your board, and you have to time tossing it back onto his board so it explodes and does damage. Otherwise, Sam will just chuck it back onto your board and end up dealing damage to your yokai. Mass Mutterer gives the most wanted points out of any your criminal, and can even break out of prison and spawn again if you've already captured him. Thank Enma they changed your criminals in this game. Can you imagine if they put a boss like this in Yokai Watch 1 or 2? That would be significantly more annoying to try and get. Well, that was a long-awaited Yo Criminals video. Hopefully you found it useful. Before making this video, I thought I knew most stuff about Yo Criminals, but turns out there's a lot more that I didn't actually know or forgot about. I still find a lot of these Yo Criminal names and crimes very funny, and if I had to pick a favourite, that would be Paka's got in a pack elevator and press all 555 buttons. Not only because it's funny, I mean who hasn't at least thought about doing that, but also references Bada Bing Tower, which is cool. As usual, like and sub if you like this and want to see more, and comment your favourite Yo Criminal and your favourite crime. Eat your tasty pasta, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, well that's this video finally done. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. I wasn't expecting it to win on the poll by that much. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one then.